Welcome back. It's now time to go back out to Tom at Hy-Vee.
That's right. Tom, we understand you're making some fall cocktails today, so tell us more about that.
You are absolutely right. You know, if you're having tailgating or parties or getting together or just sitting down to read a book, little refreshment never hurt. We are in the wine and spirits section at Hy-Vee. I've got Terry with me. First of all, thanks for having us by.
Thanks for being here.
We won't be talking about that, but this man knows beer inside and out. So if you come into, it's called a what?
A Cicerone.
A Cicerone. So this is the quality of
it's like
people
the
you're
beer
going to find.
equivalent of a sommelier.
Sommelier, right. But
right.
you know the beers.
I know the beers.
All right. Now, we're not going to talk about beer right now.
We're not.
But we're going to talk about a couple of fall cocktails. And you're going kind of old school with maybe a little twist here.
Well, when you want a fall cocktail, you don't have to come up with something completely original, completely different. You can, but a really good way to do that is just take some of your things that you really enjoy doing,
right.
Maybe like an old fashioned, maybe like a Moscow Mule, and just introduce some flavors that move toward that autumn, move toward that fall feel.
All right, and that's what we're going to do right now. Just show a couple of things. Of course, you know, all of this you can find here at Hy-Vee.
Oh, of course.
But there are so many things to take on. Wine, if you like wine, you've got more wine than most wineries have.
Yeah.
And of course the beers and spirits and all the mix, and you can see all this behind me. It's all right here, you know, in this section. But okay, let's jump back to this. Now you mentioned an old fashioned and then a Moscow Mule.
Exactly.
And you're doing a little twist on it.
We are doing a little twist on it, just because with an old-fashioned, it's a real simple drink, it's a real classic drink, but because of that, it's easy to alter it according to whatever taste you have.
All right.
So what we're going to do is normally what you do is add either simple syrup or sugar, a little bit of bitters, and muddle it around, get it dissolved. So what we're going to do is instead of using sugar, we're going to use maple syrup.
Okay.
So we've got the grade A maple syrup. Now, there's a lot of different ones.
Yes, there are.
So there's 4 different kinds going from lightest to darkest. As you get darker, you get a stronger maple flavor.
Yes, you do.
So what we're going is with the amber. It's not quite the lightest. We want a little more maple flavor with that. We want a little more richness to it, but we don't want it to be something that completely takes away from the bourbon, that completely alters the drink.
You don't want to overpower. Why have the bourbon if
exactly.
you're going to overpower
we want an accent, not an overwhelm.
Right.
So,
that's it, a mixed drink. You want that whole mix of flavors. All right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put, you know, roughly a teaspoon or so into the bottom
of the maple syrup.
The maple syrup. We're going to put about 3 dashes of the regular bitters.
All right.
We're going to put 1 dash of the orange bitters.
Okay.
Again, just to get a little hint into that fall. Then we're going to get the bourbon.
All right.
And I mean, 4 Roses, really good way to do it. It's just a really nice one for any kind of mixing.
So, how much you going in there?
We're getting
about 1.5 ounces.
2 ounces.
2 ounces.
2
okay.
ounces.
2 ounces.
So we're
mix it
a little
up.
Mix. That's the nice thing about using the syrup. We don't have to worry about it actually dissolving already there.
Right.
So then you're going to add some ice on there. Add more than you think you need because you want some of that to basically melt down, get a little bit of dilution on there so it's not harsh in any way.
Right. Yeah, an old-fashioned is basically a sipping drink.
It is.
It's a very easy sipping drink. Okay.
There you go. Last but not least, we want to express some oils on there.
A little zest going.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's orange I've got right there.
Right. Okay, now, I'll tell you what, set that right there.
Right there.
Now, we're gonna have to zoom through this one, so where do we go?
All right. So we've got the apple cider mule. First of all, there's your cup. Add 2 ounces of your apple cider.
Okay, 2 ounces of apple cider.
There you go. Then we want 2 ounces, use that for the vodka, sorry.
Oh, for the vodka.
Vodka.
2 ounces of vodka. Oops, excuse me, pardon my reach.
Okay.
There we go.
We want 1/2 ounce of the lime juice, which is right there.
Right here, 1/2 ounce of lime juice. There it is.
And we want 1.5 of those, so 3 ounces of the ginger beer. There you go, there's one. Let's do another one just like that.
Right.
There you go.
Okay, there's the ginger beer.
Add a little
You
bit
throw
of
in the ice.
Give it a little stir.
Okay. All right, now, here's the way we do it. All right, oh, do you need to put a lime in there?
It would be good to have a
Throw
lime
the
on
lime
there.
in. Yeah.
Oop.
We figured on that. Okay.
There you go.
Now, here's what we do. I made this one, you made that one. You get to try what I did.
Works for me.
Cheers to everyone. Come on out to Hy-Vee. Na zdrowie.
Hey, Tom, quick question for you. So now that you've learned from the pro, when
yeah,
are you going to
that's
make
good.
Cammie and I these
Yeah.
fall cocktails?
As soon as I get back.
Sounds good.
How's that for an answer?
Perfect. Thanks, Tom.